a lot of the times starting something new or continuing something that you love, there's always something or two things or multiple things over. Like you could have like the best of times, like everything's really peachy, like you just get into that flow state, you work, and it's like it's fascinating. And then all of a sudden one thing starts happening and two things starts happening, more things, and then there's more. Like I'll find myself eventually getting to the point where I'm focusing so much on the failure of what could be rather than focusing on what I can do to get around that failure. So how do you handle the fear of failure?
It's my greatest fear. It is absolutely my greatest fear. And I know it's my greatest fear. Do you ever have any recurring dreams?
Baby.
All right. Well, so for years I've had, off and on I've had this, and it's all, it's different variations of it, but I've had this recurring dream that I'm like 6 credits from graduating college and I don't get there, right? Like I didn't take the right class, or I'm not able to get to class on time to take it.
It's like you've done 4 years of college and
I'm this close and I can't finish, right? I can't finish the race. As said in 2 Timothy, I fought the good fight, right? I finished and I can't finish the race, right? So, I know that is a failure, as a fear of failure thing, right? And yet, as successful as I've been, I'd like to think, I'd like to pray that I've been, fairly successful as a dad, right? I like to think that I know I've been successful in business. There's nothing when I'm conscious and awake, that's telling me I should be afraid to fail. And yet I know it's something in my subconscious and I don't know if that's the competitive nature in me. Our business certainly is very competitive and it's all, and certainly it's a numbers thing, right? Are you the best version of yourself? Are you the best in the business? Are you, it's all about production, right? And because we are, and I'd imagine most people that do what I do are 100% commission, right? So you eat what you kill, right? So in one way, no one else is defining my worth, right? I'm defining my worth. And the more business I do, the more I'll get paid. But sometimes you have an off month, right? Sometimes you may not produce anything. Well, guess what? You don't get paid. So now to equate that with failure may not be fair, because over the long haul, you've been successful, but it's always in there, right? But I don't let fear dictate how I run my life. I don't let fear dictate how I approach my business.
Would you say like a lot of the lack of fear that you have is because of the people that you know, because of your children, because of the relationships you have, that like there's all these people counting on you and now you just have to count on yourself?
I forget who said it. I just heard a quote the other day that I thought was perfect, that the only way to achieve your greatest success is to surround yourself with successful people, right?
The five closest people to you will define who you are.
Yeah. I mean, it's something along those lines. The only way I'm going to learn at 55 at this point in my business is, I can constantly evolve, right? I want to find people that are doing what I'm doing better, right? And learn from them. I also learn from the opportunities that I didn't get. Sometimes that's things I can't control. I can't control what other lenders offer in terms of rates and fees and all that kind of stuff. But if I ever lose an opportunity because I wasn't at my best or somebody provided better service, that's a learning experience, right? So who's doing that better than me, right? Who do I surround myself with in my daily life, right? And are they the best version? Are they pouring into me, right? And I love being the one pouring into. If I'm able to pour into somebody spiritually, right? As my faith has grown, that's something I strive to do when I can. Am I pouring into my family? Am I pouring into my friends? Am I being someone that people can rely upon? That's important to me, but sometimes you need that back, right? And I'm the guy. So, I'm the guy that just takes those, like when I'm frustrated or down about something, I just shove it down, right? So a lot of times people don't know if I'm dealing with something, right? So because I want to shove that down, and what do you need? What can I help you with? Right? And that's not always healthy. But if you surround yourself with those 5, right? If you surround yourself with like your super, super close friends and your kids, right? Your family and those that are really, really close to you should know anyway, right? They can see it. They can see it in your eyes. They can hear it in your voice.
One recurring thing that keeps going on in my mind is that, so one quote, you don't want to be the smartest. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. But at the same time, as you were talking, it kind of like there was an additional sentence that came into my mind that you can be the smartest person. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you want to be able to pull everyone else that is worth helping into that room with you, so they can be exposed to the same things that you want to be exposed to.
No question. And I don't want to be, what was the Oscar Wilde quote? Be yourself because everybody else is already taken, right? There's something about being, and this goes back to your question about honesty, right? Being authentic is, I think, such a difference maker, both personally and professionally. Like if people know that you're being authentic, like I don't want to be anybody else. Now, when I was younger and I saw people being super successful in my business and so forth, like, oh, I want to be like that guy. Oh, I want to own my own business. Oh, I want to make all that money and so forth. I don't want to be him. I don't want to be her. I want to be me.
But you'll take the best parts of those people and make it into who you want to be.
Yes, I want to take the best parts of those people and hopefully then mold something that allows me to be a better version of myself. I think there's a lot of awesome things about people that I've come into contact with over the last several years, people that are super close to me. Even folks that I've strived to improve their business, like Jeff Teagues, right, at Skull Games. I mean, there are people that have come across in my world that I admire. I don't want to be Jeff. I don't want to ever have gone through what Jeff went through. But I admire, and hopefully there are parts of that I glean from Jeff that I want to employ potentially in other people in my life that I want to employ to continue to be a better version of myself, right? To continue to grow and be authentic, right? And hopefully somebody out there one day says, man, I want to be like that guy.
I want to go into Skull Games a little more, but there was one thing I wanted to mention. I wouldn't say like everyone I meet, but there's a lot of people that I meet who are trying to find like a mentor or someone, or they already have like a mentor, someone that they like always go to for advice for like this person is my mentor. They're going to guide me through life or whatever. And while that's admirable and everything, I've always found that, and this is something that Dave's talked about, and he says it more in the jiu-jitsu sense, but I'm going to like paraphrase, that no one person will have everything that you need.
No question. And sometimes you don't know who your best mentors were until it's in the rearview mirror, right? My father was a great mentor as it relates to discipline. He was a very stoic, disciplined man. I'm very grateful that he didn't treat me the way his father treated him. But he was the worker. He was the one that was, he was the provider. He was very, very disciplined, and yet my mother was the kind of, I say life of the party, but she was the one that everybody all my friends in the neighborhood loved, and she was they were clear, they were absolute opposite, right? She was the outgoing, friendly, personable, laughable, so forth, and so I learned a lot from both of them. But in terms of how I operate business, how I work, the discipline, the follow up, and all that kind of stuff, that's definitely a dad mentorship thing. I've had coaches that were mentors. I've had friends that were mentors. And certainly people in my business that were mentors. And oddly enough, as your kids get older, they teach you things as well. Because not only do they remind you of things that you did when you were their age, but how they overcome adversity in many cases is admirable. And there's sort of a mentorship there, right? It's like the student becoming the teacher to some degree.